Welcome back. The matric class of 2024 has achieved a record-breaking 87.3% pass rate, marking the highest in the country's history. The Basic Education Minister, Siviwe Gwahube, announced the results, highlighting that every province improved its pass rate in addition to the historic overall performance. 2024 saw the most bachelor passes and distinctions ever recorded, with KwaZulu-Natal leading in the number of bachelor passes. So let's now unpack these results with the Dean of the Faculty of Education from the Stellenbosch University, Professor Mbulu Madiba. Prof, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. First of all, your message to the class of 2024.
Thank you very much, Aldrin, for inviting me. Well, let me also join the many voices of congratulating our 2024 matric class. I think they've done well. The class that have done us proud, we really congratulate them for all the hard work.
We congratulate them for all of the hard work. What for you stood out from the results that was announced last night by the Minister of Basic Education?
Look, I think I was really impressed by the high number of bachelor pass, because that is what is very, very important, you know, those who can access higher education. So I think we have the class of 2024 has achieved about above 47% of bachelor pass, which is, I think, is one of the highest. And of course, the second one is the number of distinctions, you know, that have been achieved across the faculty, across the provinces. I think that was quite also impressive. And also the performances of provinces. I think it's quite impressive that now all provinces are of 80 or 85. You know, so which is quite commendable.
Yeah, it's quite incredible considering that, and it becomes a difficult word to use sometimes to say that the worst performing province being, in this particular case, the Northern Cape, because the word worse in the context of receiving 84% plus pass mark, for me, doesn't really sound right. It really doesn't sound right. But there is something to be said about some of the interventions that we've seen at the basic education level, especially when it comes to the quintile 1 to quintile 3 schools and the no-fee schools.
Yes, you know, it was quite impressive to see how quintile 1, quintile 2 schools have really performed. I think they've really done very well. So you can see the gap seems to be narrowing between these lower quintile schools and high quintile schools, although the gap is still there. But it's quite encouraging because you can see these schools are really doing very well. They're improving, they're getting there. So it's a matter of time. I think with more support to these schools in lower quintile schools, we are likely to see really much improvement. And of course, as you have already said, that now maybe we should change our language, you know, instead of saying the worst performing, I think we should talk of those who have, you know, high.
Yeah.
So I think Northern Cape has done well also.
Yeah, and the other part around this is listening to what the Minister of Basic Education was saying, that even though we congratulate the class of 2024, she calls them the Proteas for their resilience and going through COVID-19 and being able to achieve a record high pass rate, is the quality of that education. What should be said about the quality of that particular education, and also, once again, public schools in comparison to private schools? That comparison is always made.
Yeah, you see, I think we really still need to study this class of 2024 and the result that they got, what led them there. Because, you know, this is a class that experienced COVID. COVID hit when they were doing grade 8, and there was a lot of disruptions. There were a lot of changing plans. There were a lot of trimming of curriculum and so on and so on. And then, of course, finally, they were hit by load shedding. So the question is really, what really made them successful, performing this way and so on? So I think we really need to do, so a lot of them, some of them, we've just interviewed them here. They will tell you that they learn from grade 8 how to work independently, how to go into the issue of digital space and learn online. And so they've learned a lot of skills which I think is going to help them in the future, which some of the learners have not got in the past. So I think this kind of skills that they have, they can work on their own, independent working, working against all odds, as the ministers call them, the proteas, finding their way and being able to be where they are. So that is part of education. Part of education is not getting skills, it's just getting scores. It's getting this kind of skills like resilience. You need that to be successful in life. We need that kind of citizens that will be resilient, that will be able to work against all the odds and so on. So there's a lot that we really need to learn. The other thing that we also need to learn, I think, some of us have been complaining all the time that our curriculum was too broad. Our learners were meant, to study everything. We were focusing on breadth. But now, COVID has taught us that you can trim your curriculum, but increase the depth, because the depth will increase the development of critical competencies. For example, critical thinking, creativity, communication. So you can really use less content to deepen this kind of 21st century skills that we want. And my assumption is that by trimming the curriculum, this class of 2024, I will look forward to see how they're going to perform in the universities. But my guess is that they will do well.
Yeah, and speaking about universities and this increased cohort of bachelor passes, over 47%, nearly half of those who wrote their matric results managed to achieve those bachelor passes. Are our FET colleges or universities capacitated to take them all in?
That is the major challenge, Adrian. I think if you look at the spaces that universities have, it's very limited. I mean, very few universities can take over 5,000, newcomers. So there will be limited spaces in universities because the bachelors are quite many. So I'm not so sure that the university will be able to absorb them. But we always say that not all our learners should become academics, should go to university to do degrees. Those who have got diplomas, we've got about, 20-something students who got diplomas. So those can really go to University of Technologies. There are a lot of programs that they can do. These days, we know that AI is a big challenge. We need technical skills. So those learners with maths, we encourage them, don't just say you want to go to UCT, you just want to go to this top university, you want to go to, the big five and so on. Yes, if you can, that allows you to go there. But there's huge opportunity to go into all these other things. And TVET, yes, I know there's been concerns around the TVET that some of them, the quality is not good, but there are TVET that are doing fantastic job. And we want our learners to go into some of those things because that's where there is employment now. That's where there is a space, chance, opportunities, for people to be able to find jobs.
Yeah, and how do we make those attractive, though, outside of universities?
Yeah, look, it's still a work in progress. I think we had hoped that the TVET colleges by now will be more attractive, that they will be producing the quality of learners that, the market out there will go for them. But yes, as you have seen, we know that it's still work in progress. But I must tell you, there are those TVET colleges that are doing very well.